I'd like to call the meeting to order. We would have a moment of silence and a salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. There was an executive session held this evening in the District Administrative Center from 6 to 6:15 to discuss personnel and legal matters. Mr. Reddick, would you?
Sure,
get ready?
All right. Hi, I'm Chris Rodak. I'm beginning band from middle school, 18th grade to high school. I'm beginning band with us here today. These are kids who just started playing their instruments this year. They just decided this year to come and study music at the middle school. So we have about 17 kids, a couple of them couldn't be here. 33 next year, a really big class. So real quickly, let's go around and they'll introduce themselves.
I'm Melanie Yoakum and I play the tuba.
I'm McKay Jones and I play the tuba. I'm Colton Lucas and I play the trombone.
I'm Taylor Mercer and I play percussion.
I'm Jenna Katz and I play percussion.
I'm Mitchell Gray and I play percussion.
I'm Maya Bell and I play the clarinet. I'm Isabella Hoffman and I play the clarinet. I'm Leah Peluso and I play the clarinet. I'm Meredith Eddy and I play the flute. I'm Zelena Curry and I play the trumpet. I'm Neil Lipshaft and I play the clarinet. I'm Jonas Town and I play the clarinet.
All right, so this is, for a lot of us, this is our very first performance of the year. We're a little bit of nerves, but it's great to come in here and perform for you guys. I thought it would be televised, so it's extra nervous for us. This is a nice audience to start out with. It takes a lot of guts to start an instrument. It's not easy to start an instrument. It's not easy to teach, but we get the best kids in the band, so it's a pleasure to teach them. The first thing we'll play for you is Old MacDonald. Okay, some of them I'll play on the keyboard. Some of them I won't, but they'll handle this one on their own. So we'll play Old MacDonald for you. Ready? 1, 2 notes, and then by the time they get going, Old MacDonald is for us a big achievement. We start learning these small tunes faster and faster and faster. I'm kind of looking for good tone quality, understanding basic rhythms, and to master a song like that, this time of the year for beginning band is pretty cool. We're going to do "Oh When the Saints Go Marching In" for you next. 1, 2, 3. play a piece called Hard Rock Blues next. We'll do another full band piece, and then we'll do a couple real quick solos for you. So some kids have kind of went the extra mile, and we'll do that for you. So Hard Rock Blues, everybody. 1, 2, 3. That's to give the tuba some more reinforcement. Something that's interesting is for clarinets and saxophones, the reed instruments, they have to press down a button and kind of blow and the note comes out. For brass instruments like the trumpet, the trombone, and tuba, they only have 3 valves or a slide. And for example, the tuba, if he presses down one finger, 10 different notes can come out. So he has to know what the right pitch is and kind of match it. So it's, for the brass instruments starting out especially, it's hard to get started, but as you can tell, they're doing a nice job. So here will be Ode to Joy for you. Good. 1, 2, 3. In the form of a round, so we'll have 2 groups. Group 1 will start off, and Group 2 will go later. So this is how the books we use introduce harmony. So everything up until now is going to be pretty much in unison, but through a round, you're kind of forced into hearing more than one pitch at the same time. So it's the way we introduce harmony to new kids. Here we go. Fair Jacques, everybody. 1, 2, 3. Group piece we'll play for you is Aura Lee, and this time just our front row is going to play for you. So all the clarinets, flutes, and the trumpet. 1, 2, 3. Solos for you. Next year, all these 7th graders will be in 8th grade bands. You have 2 8th grade bands So they'll have full instrumentation. This is just anyone, whatever instrument they want to play, I teach it to them. This isn't kind of standard concert band instrumentation, as you can tell. But they'll join 2 standard 8th grade bands next year. So I believe Meredith is first.
I'm Meredith Eddy, and I'm playing O Canada.
I'm Taylor Town. And I'm Mia Lipchak, and we're playing Cossack dance.
I'm Leah Peluso, and I'm going to be playing Morning.
Nope, that's all we have for you today. Nice and quick. Thanks for letting us start off your meeting. Some of these beginning band kids are going to end up in the high school wind ensemble, the wind symphony, playing at conventions like our wind ensemble was at the MENC. Some of the kids in the high school wind ensemble now started with me beginning band only 3 years ago. So a lot of these kids are destined for greatness here at North Hill. So thank you for supporting band. And let's go.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rodak. It was very interesting. You were very informative to what's actually happening. Thank you. Great. I would like to introduce Mr. John Kreider, who will introduce Eagle Scout Hayden Kurtz.
Thank you, Mr. Nudi. Unfortunately, Hayden is not able to join us this evening, so if you don't mind, I'll start with our second round of recognition, and would like to thank our board, our administrators, and welcome our community here this evening. We have 3 individuals the high school would like to recognize for their planning and organization of the Barnes & Noble Book Fair. In 2013-2014 school year, the Because of a Book initiative began with a building-wide promotion of literacy to engage students in reading. Students and staff members contributed by posting favorite authors, genre, and book selection on the walls of the high school. At this time, if English teacher Carmen Washington and library teaching assistant Elizabeth Streza could join me here at the podium. Mrs. Washington, Mrs. Zahorchak, who was unable to join us this evening, and Mrs. Streza wanted to build upon that initiative and harness the vision into something bigger. How can we involve not only our students and teachers at the high school, but include the community at large to showcase the importance of literacy and the joy reading can bring to one's life, at the same time bring the community together to raise money for a worthy cause? The ladies assembled our student body and networked with a host of teachers in the building and external agencies as well to sponsor the Barnes & Noble Book Fair. The event was held at Barnes & Noble on December 7th and featured our choral ensemble, drama club, guitar club, and string quartet. School district administrators, including Dr. Manarino, Dr. Taylor, Dr. Venata, Dr. Kane, all participated and took turns reading children's stories to many youngsters who attended the event. With help from high school reading teacher Nick Hand, local authors shared their work, while others discussed careers in writing and strategies to defeat a blank page when approaching writing. Art teacher Regina Morby hosted a face painting station as well. Proceeds from the event were donated to Make-A-Wish of Greater Pittsburgh and West Virginia, as well as North Hills libraries and literacy programs. What I believe is most important to recognize is that these individuals did not commit their tireless hours for themselves, but for the students and for our community. The event was a huge success, and we look forward to future plans in partnering with Barnes & Noble. And at this time, please join me in recognizing Carmen Washington, Dawn Zahorchak, and Elizabeth Streza. At this time, if Jennifer D. Pasquale, Nicole Weber, and Amy Patsalivas could join me here at the podium. And Mackenzie is here to represent the 4 seniors as well. Thank you, Mackenzie. The first annual dance marathon was held on Friday, January 15th, and continued into the early hours of Saturday, January 16th in the middle school annex. Students danced throughout the evening, played games, participated in activities, and continued to be motivated by the greater cause of philanthropy. At the top of every hour, the students united in the large gymnasium to perform their unique line dance choreographed by freshman Maria Arlia to the song Uptown Funk by Chris Jameson. It was an exciting evening. Through their tireless efforts, our students raised nearly $14,000 through donations to Make-A-Wish Foundation and the Four Diamonds. Organizing an event of this magnitude is not an easy task. Through their combined efforts, biology teacher Jennifer D. Pasquale, family consumer science teacher Amy Patsalivas, and high school guidance counselor Nicole Weber assembled the support of the Student Council, Hands for Service, and many members of our community through their volunteer work and donations for this 12-hour event. Snacks and drinks were provided by generous donations of many staff members, community members, and local businesses. Providing students with positive role models committed to organizing healthy, lifelong learning activities is important as our students emerge into positively contributing members of our society and creates a strong culture in our building and in our community. Please join me in recognizing Jennifer D. Pasquale, Amy Patsalivas, and Nicole Weber.
always has something nice in it. That's why
Thank
I'm
you
thankful
for
for it.
everything you do.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
How are you?
Congratulations, yeah, it's a great event. Great. Jamie's up there too, thank you. Right there.
Are there any board members who would like to make public comment? There being none, we'll move on to public comments on the agenda. Are there any comments on the agenda? No. There being none, move to approve the minutes for February 5th work session and legislative meeting, and the February 19th legislative meeting.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Minutes are approved. Student representative report.
As the school year moves along, North Hills students continue to strive for success and place highly among other schools, both in academics and in extracurricular activities. Senior Melody McFarland won second place in the Phipps Conservatory Fairchild Challenge, illustrating a novel about an environmental scientist. The graphic novel she and a Fox Chapel student created depicted Rachel Carson as a superhero. Congratulations to senior Andrew Diddich for being recognized as the National Merit Scholarship finalist. We can't wait to see all the great successes of our senior class. Also, congratulations to the 21 middle school musicians selected to the Northern Area Honors Band. Their performance was yesterday in the middle school auditorium. The 6th grade orchestra students enriched their skills with a trip to the CMU's School of Music for a personal string workshop, and they also played under a guest conductor and spent another day practicing with the high school orchestra and senior high music teacher, Mr. Lavelle. At the middle school, the 7th graders took on a project that incorporated science, technology, engineering, art, and math, better known as STEAM. Their groups were assigned a country, and they strove to create a pseudo-restaurant with a chef, a model of their restaurant, a logo, and a menu. What a great way to practice teamwork and leadership. Westview students participated in their school-wide Junior Achievement Day, hosting guest teachers who supplemented what they learn every day in the classroom. Junior Achievement Day focuses on teaching young students about the future business world. First grade students at Highcliffe raised money for the Four Diamonds Fund by hosting their own stand-a-thon for 2 hours, and they were able to raise $240. The money goes to support kids and their families who are battling cancer. Also, in the month of February, the high school hosted its 3rd Cancer Awareness Week. We were able to incorporate student stories this year in our video announcements, which were incredibly touching. This year, we extended the Denim Day and bracelet sales to teachers throughout the district, allowing us to double our donation from last year and raise over $1,200 for our clubhouse, an organization that offers workshops and support groups for individuals and their families touched by cancer. I would like to personally thank everyone so much for all your participation and support. Cancer is not an easy battle to fight, and there is nothing like knowing that you are not alone. Thank you to former Steeler and current football analyst, Mr. Merrill Hodge, for coming to speak to our high school athletes about being successful and healthy, both on and off the field. And also thank you to Mrs. Deborah Lamb for coming yesterday to speak to the Academy students about her current position that she serves, as well as her education at numerous prestigious universities. This week and last week, multiple North Hills athletes participated in the state championships of both swimming and wrestling. North Hills and WPIAL record holder Brian Lavasic competed competes in the 100 and 200 yard freestyle events. Senior and North Hills record holder Aurelia Sheehan swims the 200 and 500 yard freestyle events. The freestyle relay team, comprised of senior Andrew Sutchin, senior Seth Tressmer, and freshman Andrew Mahoney, will compete in the 200 yard event. The team, Brian Lavasic is also part of that event, and the team broke a more than 16-year-old North Hills record. In wrestling, junior Gage Curry competed in the state championship at Hershey, finishing second in the state for his weight class. And also 4 basketball athletes were recognized with all section, 3 of them being Kendall Taylor, Nick Smith, and Melanie Lindsay were named first team all section, and Jamie Holland was named second team all section. The boys basketball team closed out their successful season after a close defeat to this past Saturday in their state playoff game. They finished 3rd in the WPIAL. Congratulations on such a great season. Upcoming events include the High School Drama Club performance of Footloose, which opens up next Thursday at 7:30 p.m. in the high school auditorium. The show will be performed March 19th, 20th, and 21st, as well as the 26th, 27th, and 28th, with the senior matinee at 1:30 on the 28th, and this is free for those 60 and over. The elementary band spring concert is March 25th in the middle school auditorium, and spring sports are just warming up as the fields thaw out. The baseball team prepares for their trip to Myrtle Beach, and the softball team is currently in Florida. And track, volleyball, tennis, and lacrosse athletes gear up and look forward to the warmth.
Sarah, thank you very much for a very, very busy report. Is there a solicitor's report?
Nothing that I didn't report in executive session.
Superintendent's report.
I think Sarah just did a fantastic job covering everything going on in the district and what we have moving forward, so I have no report. Thank you, Sarah.
Dr. Manetta will give us some information on the Business and Entrepreneurial Fair.
Good evening. There are 2 items I'd like to bring to your attention today. First, I would like to pass on an invitation to the North Hills Business and Entrepreneurial Fair. This is Saturday, March 24th in the middle school gymnasium. You can see our board agenda and also our website. You can also contact the high school, I believe. Dr. Barkovich is engaging in this for further detail if you would like to attend or participate in that. Secondly, I'm very proud to introduce our middle school assistant principal, Mrs. Beth Williams. She, her assistant, Mr. Jason Beal, and a handful of our middle school teachers are here with us this evening to share their Schools to Watch presentation. As many of you know, the middle school was recently awarded with the Schools to Watch accreditation. They recently presented at a state-level conference. We'll be hosting an awards ceremony in May, which you all will be invited to attend, and then traveling to Washington, D.C. in late June to receive their national award. Congratulations, Mrs. Williams, Mr. Beal, and the entire middle school faculty and staff for this select award. I am truly proud of all of you, and I welcome you to the podium. Thank you.
Good evening. It's both an honor and a privilege to be here tonight as the middle school principal. I could not be prouder of my staff. We are going to condense our presentation down to, I think we had 60 slides that we presented at State College. I think tonight we have about 8 or 10, so we're going to kind of expedite it for you. But just to let you know, there are 4 specific criteria that you have to show outstanding excellence in order to be designated as a Schools to Watch school. We were able to do that in a very short 18 months. I believe we are the first school that has accomplished such a goal in 18 months. We are one of 35 schools designated in the state of Pennsylvania and one of 375 in the nation. So truly it is an outstanding accomplishment. So without further ado, I'm going to hand it over to one of our fine teachers, Mr. Doug Sundo.
Before I get started, let me take a second here to thank. Winning this award, you have to have administrators behind you. And those administrators that drove us to this award, Dr. Venata, Dr. Taylor, Dr. Manarino. I want to thank you, the three of you, for lighting a fire underneath us and receiving this award. Also, I'd like to thank Beth Williams and Jason Beal. Without these two in this building, I don't think any of this would have happened. You have two of the finest principals in the whole district. And I'm not negating, the high school. Where did John go? Did he? He's right there. I'm not negating the high school. But John, you're over there now. But thank you very much. My part, along with Jill Brooks, was on academic excellence. And what really goes into that? What do we do here at the middle school that other schools do not? One of the domains that I picked out was instructional strategies. We use these all the time. Direct instruction, differentiated instruction, cooperative learning, project-based learning, simulations. I think this is our strong point. We here at the middle school, it's all hands-on learning. We have the computers, we have the iPads, all this is going on. Just walk our halls, board members, walk our halls, you'll see that all this is going on. You'll see students out in the hallway using iMovie, making movies for social studies. This is all going on. Next one. And then the next slide, students are provided the support they need to meet our rigorous academic standards. What do we do to help them? Something that sits very close to my heart is co-teaching. A couple years ago, Beth and I, we talked about this, and I had a room, my classroom, for the last 19, 20 years, so I'm dating myself. I said, let's do this. And we started to get into this. And this year, I can tell you, I'm teamed up with 3 math teachers and an English teacher. And I love it. You can have my room, you can take it, you can put something there, make it into a computer room. I love being out there with those teachers. And we do this with the help. We've had Slippery Rock University come down and help us with this whole idea of co-teaching and what it involves. There are 6 different models, and I can get into this, and I can spend your whole evening on this, and you'd be a little bit bored maybe. We have guided study time during lunchtime. I'm downstairs in the study hall with 2 other teachers. I'm helping the students out. If they need help in the math or the English, they're coming up. Mr. Sundo, I need your help. They're seeking us out. We didn't have that, before. I mean, they were a little hesitant to do that. Now that they see that the co-teaching model, that there's 2 teachers, sometimes 3 teachers in the room, students are more apt to come after us. Academic study halls. I run one of those where the students are coming down. And I'm helping them. I'm working one-on-one with them on a project, whether it be math, whether it be social studies, English. Homeroom activity time. It's another time in the day that we can work with the students. Also, our teaching assistants and paraprofessionals, they also help out. It's not just us. We have those. They're in the trenches as well. Any questions? Good. Next up is Larry Dorenkamp.
So my developmental responsiveness I did with Libby Gazer, who is luckily in Florida right now, coaching softball. So let me go on my back up one. So here is my domain. Teachers use interdisciplinary approach to
excuse me,
reinforce
Jason.
important
Larry. Move to the mic, please.
Okay, sorry, I usually have a big mouth. I'm not used to talking. So teachers use interdisciplinary approach to reinforce important concept skills and address real-world problems. And as I was doing these slides, what dawned on me is that, we don't have to try to win an award to do this, because these are things, I've been here 15 years, and both of my slides are things that we do just because it makes sense, because it's what's best for the kids. I mean, education isn't rocket science. What's best for the kids? This is what's best for the kids, and this is what we've done for years. So this year, and with PSSAs, we've done a lot of ELA strategies. I could just speak from social studies. I know me and a couple of other social studies teachers we incorporate a lot of ELA strategies in interpreting primary source documents and having the kids cite them, and writing complete sentences, answer, cite, explain, things of that nature. Writing narratives is something we're accomplishing. Hunger Games is a great idea that Vicki Trushin and Nate Wilkinson came up with about 2 years ago, I would say. So it's a whole day event. it started in 8th grade, and now both grade levels do it, 7 and 8, where every teacher in the school will see every single student in their grade level that day, and we rotate them every 18 minutes. So every teacher has a skill for the PSSA that they're drilling the students on, and every 18 minutes they rotate in. And each homeroom is, what was it, a planet? What is the phrase? A district, very good. I haven't seen Hunger Games for 3 years, give me a break. So a district with a color, and so it's kind of a rah-rah kind of thing. They come up with themes, we decorate the doors, and they really get into it, and it's a really great all-day event that we do. Pi Day is tomorrow, but it's not really tomorrow, right? Because tomorrow's the 13th, but we're celebrating it tomorrow. And it's a math event for us. Pirates Day, were you involved, Ms. Norman, with Pirate Day? It was a 7th grade event that we bring in the Pirate Parrot, and they do a lot of math-based baseball things where they incorporate all the different English, math, science, social studies into baseball. Sarah talked about STEAM with our 8th graders that just got finished on Wednesday or Tuesday. Cross-curricular projects, right now, the 8th grade I know that I can speak to, we're in the middle of a literacy, arts, social studies cross-curriculum event where we're in the middle of Manifest Destiny, and the English teachers are assigning names of people from that era, from presidents to people like Native Americans, Sacagawea, things like that, where the kids are going to be doing research in the library. And we're giving up a week of social studies where we're going to be in the library with the students, helping them research. So I know Team Hines just finished this week, my week's next week, and then Carnegie will be going. So this is a way interdisciplinary we work. Again, a lot of activities in this school since I've been here, but a little bit more organized now that we have the end of the day homeroom period. It really helps us. As I said there, you name it, we have it. Kids who aren't involved in sports have a plethora of other things that they can get involved with. There's certainly not enough room on one slide to do it, but this extended or this homeroom period that we do have now gives the kids a lot more time to go out and get involved in things that they may have had an interest in, but there was never an organized opportunity to do so. I know last year that I had a current events club, and it gave kids an opportunity to talk about world events that maybe they don't have inside the classroom, even in a social studies setting. So those are my two slides from my domain, and now I'm going to hand it off to Ms. Norman.
Good evening. Thanks so much for having us. I presented at Penn State with Joe Welsh, and our domain was social equity. So basically how we address the needs of all of our kids. So some of this stuff will be repetitive of what Doug and Larry had mentioned, but definitely all of those supports that we have in the building, whether that be guided study, that homeroom time, we help them out constantly. We do run a lot of classes with flexible grouping. I know in my department, Laurel Hitlin and I literally on a daily basis flexible group our kids in lit arts to give them the maximum time with the least amount of kids in that setting. So we have nice small groups that we can work with them. Team planning period, Beth is gracious enough to give us in that master schedule. And as Doug had mentioned about co-teaching, which is new for us this year, I'm in social studies and science in 8th grade, and that team planning time is truly essential for me to meet with the team and see where we all are and make sure we're all on the same page so that we can plan. Next one. And this is basically the slide that we talked about, was just giving our kids equal access. One of the bullet points on there that always strikes us as surprising is our percentage of economically disadvantaged kids, and we do have 29% of them in our district. So basically what we talked about is how as a middle school that we group these kids so no one knows any different. You can look at our whole group of kids and never know who has something and who doesn't. Any of those great activities that we sponsor, whether they be field trips, whether it be Hunger Games, whatever it is, we give every kid the opportunity to participate in those. No one is ever told no. We group our kids so that learning's best for them. We have heterogeneous grouping. Like Doug said, we have collaboration with outside universities as far as our co-teaching goes. And as a reading specialist, like I said, we're going out into those content areas along with the special ed teachers and really trying to give the kids as much bang for their buck that they can get while they're in those 40-minute classes. Okay? Yeah. Jason?
The fourth area is the organizational structures and processes that we put in place to support students and staff. So how do we support our students? You've heard a lot of the ways. Again, some of these are repetitive, but we do strive to really know each kid and give them the best opportunity to learn the way they need to, whether it is having 2 adults in the room and providing some of those grouping structures that allow, the kids to feel comfortable, asking, Mr. Sundo a question, even though he's that second teacher in the room in the math class. It's something they may not ask the teacher up front, or vice versa when he's up front and, Michelle Grunwald maybe is the one that is able to answer the question. So that's one of the keys, that I think is really important about what we do.
Oh, sorry. Supporting staff, I think I could speak a long time about this, but I think the thing that makes us very, very unique at North Hills Middle School is the fact that Jason and I operate under the principle of shared leadership. By no means do either one of us pretend to be the expert in everything that goes on in our building, and so we work very, very hard to empower our staff to sit down at the table with us and come up with great ideas. We want the ideas, we want the solutions, we want to look at data, we want to look at how we can grow and how we can become better. And in doing so, we are now able, believe it or not, to look at things that once used to be considered problems as challenges and determine how we as a family are going to work together at the middle school to overcome those challenges. The other thing, and I think you've heard them allude to it, is the guiding question, I think, that drives everything, and I think they get somewhat tired of me always asking the question, which is, how's this decision in the best interest of the students? As long as we use that as our guiding parameter, as long as we use that as our barometer for the decisions that we're making, it allows us to make the decisions that we are here for, which is to do what is in the best interest of the students. So that concludes our presentation, but I would be very, very remiss in not thanking some people as well. Mr. Sundo sort of started to steal my thunder a little bit. First and foremost, thank you to the school board. 18 months ago, you allowed us to set off on this journey as a middle school, never knowing that 18 months later, here we are, a Schools to Watch. So I truly appreciate your trust and your support in the middle school. The staff members that you see here tonight, the 3 that came, are indicative of every single staff member I have in my building. Every adult in my building, and I'm getting the mother pride here, so I'm getting a little choked up, is extremely passionate and dedicated to what they do on a daily basis, and it shows. We would love, you are more than welcome to come in our building anytime. They do amazing things, and I cannot think of a group of people who deserve this more than my staff. I'm very, very excited for them. I would also like to thank Dr. Manarino. He has always been a big supporter of the middle school. Anytime we need something, he is right there willing to lend a hand. Certainly Dr. Taylor with curriculum and assessment. We pick his brain an awful lot when we ask for different things. Dr. Kane helps us with our 6th to 7th grade transition. And certainly I would be remiss if I did not thank my direct supervisor. Anytime we ask Dr. Venata for assistance or help, or we come up with an idea, she sits down, she listens to us, and her very next question, once we sort through what we need to, is, how can I help you make this happen for kids? That type of support has allowed us to get to where we are 18 months later. So we truly appreciate that. And certainly last but not least is the gentleman to my left. Jason has been with us for 18 months as my middle school assistant principal. His experience as a middle school teacher has made every single one of us in our building better. His ideas, his thoughts, he constantly asks the question, why? Can we think about this differently? He has really been kind of the missing piece that we needed here at the middle school. So I am very, very proud of all of us. You guys did an amazing job, and you will all be getting an invitation, so save the date for May 7th. at 2 p.m. That is when a delegation from the state will be coming to award us our official Schools to Watch banner. Politicians will be there, the media will be here. It is quite a big event. So May 7th, we hope to see you all there. And again, thank you very much.
Thank you, Doug.
You're the best. Hi, 31416.
Thank you.
I made a really special day.
Thanks very much.
I mean, now it's the 4 decimal point.
Yeah, I know. Maybe extra time.
Hey, congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks for everything you do. So well deserved. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Thank you. Fantastic. Thanks for everything. Thank you.
Mrs. Williams, before you walk out, I just want to thank you for your leadership of the middle school. You do a fantastic job, and it was really nice that you were able to make it through that and didn't cry. But you were doing an amazing job, and we were really, really happy with you, your leadership, your faculty, your staff, and just congratulations. You deserve that honor, and we are all looking forward to May 7th.
We'll now move on to the educational committee report.
Okay, I'm stepping in for Mrs. Bender tonight. Who can't be here, unfortunately.
Thank you very much, Mike.
So, so we have 8 items to approve on the agenda tonight. The first 5 are concurrent enrollment agreements with post-secondary institutions, Carlow, Community College of Allegheny County, La Roche, and University of Pittsburgh, and Seton Hill University. Our 6th item is the renewal for the second year of the International Baccalaureate Open World Schools program with Adrian Public Schools. Then the last 2 items are the disposition of an old piano and our 2015 summer school pricing. So the superintendent recommends, and I so move, that the board approve education items 1 through 8.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Next.
Motion carries.
Motion carried, excuse me. I don't do this very often.
It's all right, that's why we're here.
Okay. Next is the technology report.
The only thing on the schedule tonight was the request for approval for the disposition and sale of out-of-service computers as per policy number 710. So the superintendent recommends, and I so move, that the board approve technology item number 1.
So moved.
Second.
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 All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. The next item is the athletics and activities, and Dr. Nolish will
Thank you.
report.
We have one item on the athletics and activities. It's the donation of the lacrosse goals for the Ross Elementary Field from the lacrosse boosters, and that also lets Dr. Dietrich move goals to the, it says lacrosse. I think it was soccer goals?
No, it's lacrosse.
Lacrosse. Okay, I'm sorry. I should put my glasses on. I'm sorry about that. That lets us move them to Reese Run, which will help the program for the kids at the younger areas, that the younger grades moving up. So the superintendent recommends, and I so move, that the board approve athletics and activities item number 1, or lacrosse goals.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Next is the Beatty Career Center.
Mr. Nudi, there are no items under A.W. Beatty Career Center this evening.
No comment is, I'd like to make one comment. We
Well,
had,
I feel bad. There's our open house tonight. I would love to have been there. Everything's on one night.
well,
You can
we
go to their
did-
fish fries Friday night. Good food.
That's right. I
Cheap
was-
price.
that's- Forget your church and
Yeah.
go to Beatty for fish fry
Uh-huh.
on Friday. Personnel action items.
I will take personnel for Mr. Kelly, and I will leave my glasses on this time. And we have 3 items. Number 1, resignations. Number 2, appointments. And number 3, leave of absence. And the superintendent recommends, and I so move, that the board approve personnel items 1 through 3.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And with that action, I would like to congratulate Deborah Hewlett, who will retire at the end of this school year after 7 years of service as a paraprofessional at Westview Elementary. So we want to thank her for her service and all the contributions she's made to the students and families at Westview.
The next item on the agenda is community intergovernmental relations. Mr. Muha.
No, that's me. Not me. It's me, Lou.
Nothing?
There's no items on the agenda, but real quick, Dave, have we heard anything from Westview on the business privilege and mercantile tax? Have they explored that yet?
You might want to ask their solicitor.
Yes, in fact, my associate is reporting at the Westview Borough meeting tonight. They're on board with it, so I'm working with Bonnie Brimmeyer as well for the township to make sure that we all adopt the exact same thing.
Right, okay.
But Westview is on board with it.
All right.
You know.
Thank you very much.
Did they vote on it, or?
No, they were being informed tonight about it, but Bruce Fromlack, their manager, was at the meeting, and he was reporting on it tonight, and I was just told to make sure that I had something for the April meeting for them to vote on.
Okay.
He didn't anticipate any problems whatsoever.
Okay, just wanted to know what was happening over there. Thanks.
We have a great solicitor there, so he.
The next item is finance, and Mrs. Reed, would you please take?
Yes, I'm taking finance for Mr. Kelly this evening. Number 1, we have the general fund bills to pay. 2, the budget transfers. Payroll for the month of February 2015. The treasurer's report January 31st, 2015. An informational item revenue summary for 2/14/15 as of February 2015, which is unaudited. Another informational item, summary statement of revenues and expenditures, general fund for the month of February 2015. The superintendent recommends, and I so move, that the board approve finance items 1, were there any questions? I'm sorry. Anybody have questions?
Any questions?
The superintendent recommends, and I so move, that the board approve finance items 1 through 4.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone in opposition? Motion carries. Okay. I will take the support services. There is 2 items on the agenda for this evening. One is the change order to approve the carpet and tile installation in the middle school, and also a contract award to Design Alliance Architects for the libraries in the middle school and the high school.
I had a couple questions on item 2.
Yes?
I don't know if I'm addressing Mr. Hall or Dr. Taylor, but I wanted to be clear on a couple things. Compensation, it says a lump sum is indicated below, and it's a percentage, 11% based on the cost estimate of $712,000, 13.5% based on a cost estimate of $107,000 for the middle school. Now, by lump sum, do you mean we're going to pay them up front one payment, or is this a flat fee, or is this, with the percentages, if the cost goes up, will it go up, or if it goes down, will it go down? How is that?
As I understand it, it is a percentage fee, not a lump sum fee. And the percentage is based upon the construction costs. So if the costs go up, the fee will go up. If the costs stay lower, the fee will be lower.
Okay, because the cost does go, I do have, I know we need to upgrade, but, we're looking at 900,000 with the fees and that, and I hope we can come in under on something like this. That's a lot of money. And I did have, back on the other page, the mechanical engineering plumbing drawings. Now, this is the same firm that did the 2007 upgrade, right?
No.
It's not the same? Okay, then I was mistaken on that. I thought that it was the same.
Now, the 2007 renovation of the senior high school was done by Eccles Architecture.
Okay, my mistake, but being that it was done in 2007, do we expect, to perform HVAC, the design, fire protection system, do we expect a lot in that, or was that at all upgraded in 2007, or?
I can just speak to as they change the room structures around it in the library, they're going to change the HVAC so that the rooms are independently controlled. So for example, the video production lab and the audio production lab, we want to be able to turn off the air conditioning in there so that it's not running while they're trying to do recordings.
Okay.
You're also turning office spaces, like he's explaining, into a student use space. So where there's an office that maybe 4 spaces controlled by one thermostat, in a situation like this, you're going to need to have each of those individual spaces controlled by a thermostat. I know, talking to John Thomas, that he thought it was going to be minimal engineering, but there was going to be a need for some engineering with the HVAC. The way the walls are laid out for, the way the rooms are being laid out, the fire protection system isn't going to have to change the way that room is sprinkled. So that's not going to be anything that's going to interfere with the engineering of the space. But because of the layout and the new student usage of spaces that at one point were offices are not designed to be used as student usage, that there's going to need to be different HVAC controls for those rooms. And that's probably the minimal amount of engineering that will occur.
Okay, and there
There's
is
probably also going to have to be
sorry.
revisions to ducting
Yeah.
Okay.
and venting, because you are taking an open space
Yeah.
and enclosing part
Okay.
of it, and
And
some
vice
enclosed
versa.
spaces,
And
and
opening
making
it.
that part of an open space.
And the structural engineering is not included. Are they talking for the building itself, or? I get,
I would not anticipate there being much structural.
well,
to
that's what I was thinking. I mean, if we're talking about the building, I would think there'd be no,
It's all
we're not doing really anything that's going to change the load on the building. I
No,
don't
it's
think.
interior walls. It's studs and drywalls on the inside. It's turning old wooden walls into more soundproof walls, maybe glass, those types of movements. But nothing to the structure, nothing to the support. As you know, a percentage of that space, it leans out over the steps.
Yes.
None of that gets changed. None of the true structure of the rectangle itself is changed. It's all inside the rectangle.
Okay, and that's what I was thinking, I guess. We're not affecting that at all.
No.
I didn't think so, but I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is the skylight out of?
The skylight's out.
That's the only thing I could think of that would have a structural impact.
The
If they had
architect
tossed
was
the
looking for
skylight.
ways to bring in more natural light, and with the space, the way it's designed, the entire library really sits out beyond the classroom space if you look at the building. And he looked to put skylights in across the top of the roofing, of the roof of the library. Yeah, it'll bring in more natural light. I don't think it's very practical, though, to be honest with you. So we cut the skylights before Mr. Thomas gave you the price that he's anticipating.
Okay, thank you.
I wanted to also comment, I wanted to thank Dr. Taylor for taking time today. I wanted to visit both the middle school and the high school libraries because hearing the presentation last week, I wanted to be able to visualize how this would really work in the spaces. And I was really excited by what I saw because it's pretty clear that our library was created back in a time when students and teachers used the library in ways much differently than what they use today. Just with the presentations we heard, the middle school, the collaborative nature, and all the technology. So this is a real opportunity to change these spaces and really support our students and our teachers better. So I think it's a really good opportunity, and I also think because it is a lot of money and there is still a lot of flexibility within it, I think as we move forward, it's important to keep pushing the process and to keep looking for ways to do this as effectively and efficiently as we can, and to really be open to some new ways that the technology that might come, because it's evolving pretty fast. So I would encourage us, to keep continuing to do that and keep continuing to try to get the students and the teachers involved in the process, and make sure that we really are building something that fits the way they're learning right now and what it is they need, because we want to do this right. But I think moving forward with the process is a way to start that and keep that moving along. So, thank you very much.
I'd like to make one comment on the tile and carpeting in the junior high. I was very concerned that we weren't going to achieve this because of the problem of getting a contractor that could afford a performance bond. However, with the ingenuity of Mr. Hall and Mr. Thomas, they were able to work a change notice with the electrical contractor to get it done. So we will be getting rid of our patchwork tile and concrete floors come next August 8th, I think, is the completion. So.
Great.
Okay. The superintendent recommends, and I so move, that the board approve support services items 1 and 2.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. There is one person who is, would like to speak on a non-agenda item. It's R. Blakely.
Would you like, Mr. Chairman, would you like me to read
Yes, would you
public
read
comment?
the?
This is from policy number 903 regarding public participation in board meetings. We would like to invite any members of the public who wish to address the board to come forward at this time. It is our policy to strongly encourage such public participation, inasmuch as it provides the board with an important source of ideas, as well as informs us of many concerns in the district. The board does reserve the right, however, to limit the amount of time allotted for public discussion of any particular speakers and/or issues in the interest of preserving an orderly and effective public meeting. Personnel items must be submitted in writing to the board president for consideration 5 days prior to the board meeting. Items dealing with Title I and VI can be addressed. Some of your concerns can be immediately and quickly addressed following your comments, while others may require more research and discussion. When appropriate, you're welcome to further discuss your concerns with us following this meeting. We appreciate your interest.
Hi, my name's Ralph Blakely. I live at 420 Bascom Avenue. I wanted to talk about all the lights being turned off at Seville Elementary. These lights have been on since Seville was closed. It's basically turning this school into an abandoned building. It's all dark. Abandoned buildings always have problems, break-ins, loitering, vandalism. There's also safety issues with kids walking to the bus stop on the sidewalks there. There's no lights. It's dark up there. People walking through the parking lots. Property owners have a responsibility to maintain the property and keep it safe. And the neighborhood is not safe with an abandoned building. Please be responsible property owners and turn these lights back on, please.
Thank you very much. Are there any additional public comments? I would entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
A second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
That was 18 minutes. Time.